Good evening, friends. Draw near the fire, where the flames hold our deepest stories. Hear the logs crackle, as if calling us to remember. Tonight, I'll tell you about Jack, a man who found an old key, not just metal, but a door to his heart, full of love, guilt, and pain. Jack was 56. He returned to his hometown in Iowa to clear out his father's house after his death. The house stood at the edge of a field, old, with a sagging fence and a porch where their dog once slept. Inside, it smelled of hay, motor oil, and something else, his childhood locked away in memory. Jack hadn't been here in 30 years. He wandered through the rooms, each corner tracing the past. The kitchen where his father brewed coffee before work, the bedroom where he and his brother whispered under blankets, in a drawer of an old dresser, among rusty nails and receipts, he found a key, worn with a leather cord. It was the key to the shed behind the house, their secret hideout. Jack gripped it, his heart racing. That key had seen his youth, but also his greatest loss. In the 70s, when Jack was 14, this house was alive. His father, a farmer with rough hands and kind eyes, rose at dawn to work the fields. His mother made breakfasts, pancakes with maple syrup smelling of summer. Jack's older brother, Will, a 17-year-old with a wide grin, was his hero. They spent hours in the shed, fixing an old motorcycle, listening to the radio, and dreaming of road trips. Will taught Jack to hold a wrench, laughed at his clumsiness, and promised to take him along when he left. At night, they sat on the porch, staring at the stars while their father shared stories of his youth. Those were the days when life felt endless. But it all changed one hot July day in 1979. Will rode the motorcycle to town for parts. Jack was supposed to go with him, but stayed home after a petty argument. At a crossing, a truck didn't see Will. He didn't come back. His laughter stopped, and the house grew empty. Grief broke the family. His mother wept at night, her once warm hands now cold. His father withdrew, his eyes dulled, and he started drinking, something he'd never done. Jack, choking on guilt, blamed himself for the argument, for not going with his brother. He couldn't face the shed, where everything screamed of Will. At 17, Jack snapped. "You didn't stop him. It's your fault," he shouted at his father, pounding the wall. Grabbing a backpack, he fled to Kansas City, leaving his parents in their pain. The years passed. Jack worked construction, then in an auto shop, built a life, but inside was a void. He avoided calls home. When his mother died of a stroke 12 years ago, he didn't attend the funeral. Shame was too heavy. His father sent letters, simple, uncrumpled paper. "Jack, I miss you." Jack stashed them in a box, unopened, afraid of their words. Now, standing in the living room, Jack stared at the key. Its rough metal was warm, like those summer days. He walked to the shed, overgrown with weeds, and turned the key in the lock. The door creaked, releasing the smell of dust and old oil. Inside, it was unchanged. Will's motorcycle, rusted, wrenches on a shelf. Jack touched the seat, and tears poured down. He was 14 again. He saw Will laughing, oil on his cheek, his mother serving pancakes, his father talking of stars. But behind that picture was the truth. He'd abandoned his father when he was drowning in grief. Jack found a tin can in the corner. Inside were his father's letters, dozens tied with twine, and an old photo, him and Will by the motorcycle. Jack opened the last letter, dated last year. Jack, I don't blame you, his father wrote. You were a boy like Will. I loved you both, always. I'm sorry I wasn't stronger. Jack sobbed, clutching the letter and photo to his chest. He pictured his father alone, writing in the dark, surrounded by the silence of the house. His father had waited, even when he turned away. Jack didn't sell the house. He cleaned it, fixed the fence, and left the shed as it was, only hanging the photo by the door. Every Saturday, he came back, sat by the motorcycle, and remembered Will and his father. He wrote a letter to Will, full of words he never got to say. You were my hero. It went into the tin can with his father's letters, his atonement. Sometimes we leave, but love calls us back. Who will you call back to your heart today? Thank you for listening to this story. Subscribe to hear more story right here by the fireside.